Okay, first of all, I want to show that the threads per inch on the screw adjustment is 16 per inch, which gives us, watch the dial indicator right there as I'm getting it started. You can watch the scale. There's one revolution, and it's right at 1/16 of an inch. That's one of the reasons I used this one, is that I've got this precise. I sometimes do increments of that much right there. That's a quarter of a turn, etc. Works well. Okay, to set this thing up, it's very simple. I take the table raiser arm and go all the way down to it. I actually take that out at times. I've got a block that I have built. This is temporary, that I've drilled some preset holes in it that lets me actually take this out, table raiser arm out, and it lets me do a 2x4 thickness or a little thicker than that, which is really all I need. If you need to hire more than that, then this isn't going to work. You're going to have to do it by building something and taking the table off. But what I'm doing is sanding panels that I'm making down after the glue ups, and using a coarse and then a fine. It works really, really good. Saves a lot of work. But anyway, this is what I do all the way down on the table raiser arm. This is locked. These float, and then the crank is, of course, the adjustment on how much of a cut you're going to make, which I'll show you in just a minute. I'm going to go into setup, how to put the tube on it, what the tube's made of, and etc. Hang on. Okay, I use Shipwright's idea of using plastic pipe. This is just pressed on fit. By the time you squeeze it together with the lathe and the quill, it holds well. I don't cut a whole lot at a time. I'm very gentle on how we do this. This is just flat plastic sewer pipe. I've got the crosshatch. I'm going to eventually make these out of wood, but this is just, you can see where the bearing runs, and then the quill lock, and I'll be back in a minute. By the way, the Velcro is simply the part that's underneath here. I have these ends screwed in. You see the screw possibly in there. It's just Velcro underneath this. This just wraps around like any of the stuff does, and this works well. It's been holding on good, but I want, just because it takes time to take these on and off, I'm going to make a fine drum out as well. These things are cheap to do. It's just a few bucks in them, and they seem to work well. I'll be back. Okay, to set this thing up, show you how to drop the table down. You put the table down, you take the drum, you stick it onto the bearing, move your table down. I like to move it kind of in the center. I'll show you a trick I do on that. These don't have to be real tight because we're not putting a whole lot of pressure against it. What I do is I get this, and my old eyes can see this. Okay, what I do is get it set into the grooves, set it down pretty hard until I move just, the headstock moves a little bit, lock her down, she's ready to go. I run it in the middle belt. Okay, now what I do is that I take the table, get it loose, I pull the lever on it, and I raise the table up until it meets the drum all the way across. That guarantees me that the drum is square with the table. Lock that down, drop the table back down. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about my dust collector. This was made out of plywood. I painted it green. This was just a prototype and it works well. I don't think I'm going to be changing it. I'm going to whack this piece off, a little bit too tall. This is where dust collection goes through. I'm just using the hard line on the floor back section. And then this was cut out on the scroll saw to fit the top of the headstock. I'll show you what the other end looks like just a second. Okay, the other end of the dust collector has eccentrics. That lets me align easier when I slide this together. I'm looking right straight through where the bolt hole is. The knob goes in, holds the whole thing together. Pretty stable. Okay, you can see how warped this piece of wood is. You can see it. Feel like Doug Reed here. Okay, pretty warped piece of wood. We're going to take this thing completely flat. I'm running the heavy grit. I think it's 80 grit on the paper, and so it takes a lot of material, but it leaves a pretty rough surface. I'll be back. Okay, what I do is I take the wood and I put it under the drum, and I crank the table up until I just get it where it's rubbing on it. About where I'm looking. I'm rolling the drum, but I can hold the drum and it slides. Okay. Once I've got that, it's a little bit light, but that'll work. You can kind of see maybe if you look in here how where it's actually hitting that. So we're going to take the two corners and we're going to take the center out. You guys know what we're doing here. Okay. We will need dust collection. Stand by one. Okay, I use the dust collection tube for this with the elbow. Fits into there. Goes on the end. China shop. Trying to keep everything close here so I can reach through. I use a push stick. I just made this, just a piece of scrap wood, and it lets me push through. Notice it doesn't rub on the thing. For any piece of wood, I can use short pieces, thin pieces, and etc. Okay, we're going to turn this thing on. I like to check things, make sure we're not hitting anything. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to take a quarter turn. Start to see it's already starting to flatten it out. Starting to get sanding marks all the way across the board now. I'm going to flip it over. Do another quarter turn. It's taken me a while to learn how to feed it with evenness, because if you don't, you leave waves in it. Flip it over again. Another quarter turn. It's just a single pass through there. You keep feeding them slowly, pieces of small cakes at a time. It takes it. I'm glad I forgot to turn the dust collection on, because it shows you the difference between it working and not working. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.